RPGaDay 2016, Day 8. Today's question is, do you prefer hardcover, softcover or electronic books as your preference? I think this is the third time I've recorded the answer to this. Each time I think it's going to be really easy, and each time it seems not to be. The obvious answer to this is I like hardbacks. By and large, I buy anything that I can, I buy in hardback, and I don't truly get on with working from PDF. So I think hardbacks have got a few things going for them. One is just the ability to flip through them physically. Take a book off the shelf, flip through the pages, things jump out at you that you wouldn't necessarily go looking for. There is a particular book that I can think of that Raging Swan Press put out, All That Glimmers. Absolutely superb book, full of treasure ideas. It's really brilliant. I had the book on PDF for I think over a year, and I never really got into it. I'd gone through bits of it and thought, yeah, okay, that's interesting. I got the book, and within about 2 days I just realised it was one of the most awesome things that I'd ever had. Just physically having a hardback copy of it there changed the way that I looked at the material inside it, which I wasn't necessarily expecting, so I learned quite a lot from that. So yeah, the ability to flip through books is really important, and likewise the ability when you are flipping through a book to be able to stick a pencil or a ruler or a finger in the page and go, oh, now I'll just go back to flip back a couple of pages and swap between them really quickly and easily. Technically speaking, you can bookmark PDFs. I'll get on to PDFs in a minute, but it's not the same, it's not as useful. And I think with soft covers you can't just leave them sat open on the desk in front of you and not expect them to fold up and close. They're also hard wearing, more hard wearing than a softback normally, possibly early 5th edition D&D books notwithstanding. But and the last thing is they look truly awesome when they're sitting on the shelf. That's a definite bonus. So the easy answer was hardbacks. However, I've also got a lot of stuff in PDF. And after I'd recorded the video the first time saying hardbacks all the way, I realised that actually I look at a lot of stuff on PDF, and PDFs really have got a place. So actually my answer is that while hardbacks are my first preference, if I can only have something in one format, I'll have it in hardback. To be honest, what I really like is to have it both in hardback and PDF, and I'll definitely spend the money to do that if I can, if it's a product I'm going to use a lot. The fact that I can have them wherever I am. If I'm at work and I get an idea, or I want to check something, or I suddenly find that I'm out somewhere and I've got time to look up an idea, the ability to flip through and go, okay, let's call up X book and run through the beastiary, try and work out what would be a good thing to put up against the players. Just a lot of the time I'm out and about, I don't have my books with me. Now that said, if I'm going to play, I will almost always play from print. Even if I'm playing online, if I've got an adventure module, and I do run quite a lot of adventure modules, if I've got an adventure module and I'm going to use that, I will print out chunks of it if I don't have it in hardback. I like to be able to scribble on them. I like to have them and be able to leaf through them and not have to keep looking at the screen. So I like having paper. That said, there are definitely times when PDF's great. They don't take up shelf space, and I don't have that much shelf space, and I've got a lot of books already. If I took everything I had on PDF and got it printed out and tried to find somewhere for it, I don't know that I'd have anywhere to sleep at night. So yeah, not taking up shelf space is a biggie. The fact they're fully searchable, the fact if I want to go, okay, I know in this book there was something about, I can dial up and do a quick text search. I don't have to rely on an index. That's really useful. The fact that they're instantly available. If I think, oh, what I really need is one of those, I've got a session tonight and I wonder if that would be a really useful thing to have to hand, I can buy it, I can download it, it's on my tablet, it's on the computer, it's on my phone, it's all there. And the other thing that I really find is I like to be able to have artwork hanging off the back of the GM screen, especially with NPCs. The first Pathfinder adventure that I ran was one called Retribution, and it was set in a snowed-in monastery, really good, quite NPC heavy, and all of the NPCs were very detailed. They also all came with portraits of them with the name underneath. So I printed those out because I had it on paper and on PDF. I printed those out and I would hang them on the back of the screen when those NPCs were around, and it really tied the players into it. They knew who everybody was. They could get it visually as well as just the name and a description. So I tend to do that. There's things like maps. It's useful to be able to take a map and then blank out an area of it, because I don't want the players to know what's over there yet. So I can put the map out and say, well, okay, look, that's what you've seen so far. This area over here, you don't know. That's really useful, and you can only do that really with PDF. The other thing is you can amend maps. If there's something in a particular map that you don't like, you can tweak it, you can change it. That's a whole lot more difficult to do if you've got it in a book. So that, and lastly, player handouts. I like to be able to print out player handouts, or even copy the text and paste it into something and make it a little more elaborate than the ones that are there. The last real advantage that PDF's got, which I'm blown away with at the moment, on the Conan RPG that I backed on Kickstarter, what they've been doing with the core book is, as they write the core book, they release a chapter, mostly without graphics, but in final layout, to all of the backers. So the book hasn't dropped yet. They haven't even finished writing the book as far as I'm aware yet. There's still some chapters to do. But I've read through most of that core rulebook. It helps the company, obviously, because it means people spot errors, spot spelling mistakes, typos, that kind of stuff. But as a backer, it means when the core book turns up, I know what's in it. I can already be playing the game. I can already be doing character generation. It's a really nice thing. That is something that I'm really impressed with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing more companies do. So yeah, that's the last thing I think that PDF really excels at. I've probably missed something, but I do think there's really good stuff with PDF. I do, though, have some complaints about PDFs, and that is partly down to the way that I view them. I don't find it very comfortable viewing them on a monitor, on a PC screen. For some reason that doesn't work with me. It's not immediate enough. I just don't get on with it. Sometimes I view them on my phone. That's really useful, that's really good, but generally I've got a 10-inch tablet. I put it on the tablet, it's like reading a book. I can zoom in if I want to. A lot of the time I don't have to, all that kind of stuff. So that's my preferred method of doing it. The downside of that is how long it takes so many PDFs to refresh. Now, Raging Swan Press, who I really like, they almost always do a printer-friendly version and a non-printer-friendly version as two discrete files. And I read from the printer-friendly version because every time I flip a page, bang, it's up there on screen. It takes almost no time to refresh. The other end of the market from that is I have Leagues of Gothic Horror by Triple Ace Games. Amazing game, really, really love it. Absolutely chuffed to bits with it. The PDF, there are layers in there to make a printer-friendly version, but on tablets you can't turn off that background layer. And the result is that the PDF's almost unusable, because it will take anything up to 20 to 30 seconds to load. You flip a page and you've forgotten what was on the previous page by the time you've got to the new page, and it's really frustrating. The only way around that is to turn off the backgrounds on the computer and then print it, at which point I miss all the indexing. I can't get to any of the bookmarks in it without going through and redoing all of that. So that's really frustrating. And I don't know exactly what causes it. I think it's to do with the backgrounds, because I recently got the Kobold Press Tome of Beasts. Amazingly big book, very, very graphics heavy, and I was expecting that to be painful, if not unusable, on a tablet. and yet it loads multiple pages. Occasionally there's a 2-3 second, oh, you want the next page, I wasn't expecting that yet, quick delay. But it's far more graphics intensive than many slower books that I've got, but it refreshes faster. So I don't know what causes it, but that is one of the things that just means that I cannot go fully with PDF. They're just, some of them are just way too slow. I imagine this is quite a long video given the amount of time I've spent talking, and that I'm probably going to put in some footage of my many hardback books. So thank you for sticking with me, and hopefully this one will make it without me needing to re-record it a 4th time. Thanks very much.